Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shield Hero Season 2. It's weird returning to it after already having finished the series, after already having watched the finale, because that's what it was. Episode 12 was a finale. Everything was resolved, all the loose threads were closed, everything was wrapped up very nicely. We even got the bit of where are they now, right? With Naofumi and his merry team going back to Naofumi's town. It was just a finale, it was a closure. Now we should be waiting for season 3. Maybe, I don't know, a movie in between seasons or something like that. But apparently not. Apparently this series hasn't ended at 12 episodes. Which makes me wonder, why did they not just stretch the story over 13 seasons? To perhaps improve the pacing a little, maybe add some additional info that was cut from the original? From what I heard, for example, when Naofumi says goodbye to Kizuna and her friends, in the source material, they actually have like a few days. And they stay in Kizuna's world, and they party together, and they talk, and there's some fun and shenanigans to be had there. And they changed it to, yeah, no, we got like 3 seconds, see ya, and Naofumi just teleports back. Couldn't they have used that additional episode for that? What will even be shown in episode 13? I don't know. I don't know. Probably nothing like story important. It probably won't be the beginning of a new arc or anything of the sort. It's probably gonna be an OVA kind of thing where we see some fun vignettes of Naofumi and his friends having fun, having shenanigans, and just hanging around, probably. Right before I started watching this, I've seen episode 13 of Arifureta, season 2, which did the same thing, where the ending was episode 12, and then they released episode 13. Some sources list it as a special, some sources list it as episode 13, so I'm not entirely sure what it was it supposed to be, but it was just a set of really cool, really cute, really funny vignettes. So perhaps it's gonna be the case with Shield Hero as well. I have no idea what to expect, honestly. We ended the season. What's more there to be had? Like, in season 1, it made sense that they wrapped up, they defeated the Pope, yada 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 yada, but we still have, like, what, 6, 7, 5, whatever episodes left. We have to fill it somehow, so let's throw in another short-ish arc after what very much felt like the finale of the season. In this case, it's an additional season, it's an additional episode, it's a bonus episode. It's not like the story ended in episode 10 and we still have 2 episodes to pad with, 2 episodes to pad out with something. It's an additional episode. Nobody would have minded if they finished at episode 12, so what gives? I don't know. I've absolutely no clue. And to have a clue, I guess we're gonna have to watch it. So here's the subs. They look a little different. I did the same thing with Arifureta. Shrinking the subtitle bar helps me cut out my face for thumbnails a little easier. So that's pretty much why I did it. And also I took a look at my video on like full screen, and the subtitles bar is really big. This should still be perfectly fine for you to see what needs to be seen. I mean, it's mostly just for synchronization purposes anyway. And it's gonna make the job for me a little bit easier, so hopefully it's fine by you, but if it's not, do let me know in the comments on the Discord, whichever you prefer. I'm open for any critique. I'm open for any input you might have. And with that said, I'm gonna give myself sound, and I'm gonna remind you that you can support my channel on Patreon, thrown links in the description, or by just sharing my videos around with other people, because the word of mouth really does matter a lot. And with that out of the way, we can watch episode 13, or special, I think just episode 13, I'm gonna call it. We can watch episode 13 of Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2, and we can do it in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, they're traveling back to Naofumi's town. Okay, they stopped by Raphtalia's parents' grave. Sorori. Is that what they did, or what just happened? Yeah. Or Rifana's grave. Raspberry pomegranate. Rafu! It's a new dawn. On their way to... Oh! Huh? I mean, that's cool art, but what was it all about? Right. Philo can swim anymore. Can't fly. She can swim, clearly. Yeah. Humming fairy, not like a hummingbird or something. Not hummingbird. Songbird? I'm guessing what's happening here should have been happening in Kizuna's world. Because Kizuna wanted to go fishing and now they're fishing. Is it just me? Or is the art in this episode a little different? Are we gonna see just scenes that didn't make it to the season proper? Seems that way. Yeah, some kimono. A little bit of a makeover. They're wrapping her in a kimono. Yeah, that's a very nice look, actually. It's not, but it looks good. Okay. Quite a few makeovers, it seems. Yeah, heavy armor is not for her. Swimsuits, of course. Can't have no fan service. You gotta have some fan service. Whatever you say, Kizuna. Is there any armor to this costume, though? Or is it just clothes? Yeah, can't just get rid of a gift. We've seen this scene in the season proper. It's like a half recap episode. Yeah, it's a half recap. It expands a little on the material it's recapping, sure. Doesn't change the fact that it is a half recap. Oh, it's the girl, the Kyo's friend. I guess both of them fishing separately in their own worlds kinda helps draw a parallel. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, she missed out on a lot by just, I don't know, fucking around with Kyo in his lab. We gonna get a little bit more insight into Kizuna's time in the labyrinth, I'm guessing. Perhaps another perspective on her rescue or something? No, just an insight into her life there. Hmm. Yeah, the monsters are nothing to her. Some firewood, some bananas. There sure are. Weird, scrungy looking fish, but fish nonetheless. Flint and steel. Are those fish even edible? Do you have a pot? Do you have salt? Yeah, not particularly appetizing, are they? Fish and bananas? Not a particularly great set. Nope. There's a barrier. That's where the map ends. A diet of fish and bananas it is. Is it Wilson? Did she make a fucking Wilson for herself? Did she make a Wilson? Nope. Not gonna do that. Is Wilson. We cast away now. We're just going full cast away. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason people started using salt. And the reason why salt trade was so widespread and popular. There's even a superstition in Poland that if you spill salt, there's gonna be some argument, some fight in family, probably stemming from the fact that salt was so expensive that if you did spill it, you'd get an ass beating from your parents. Here comes Naofumi and his merry band. Or rather, his merry band, Naofumi and Rishia. Yeah, something new, something exciting. Someone to talk to that isn't a paper bowl. Yeah, Wilson. Right, that's odd. Did her Shikigami stay with glass? Except Wilson wasn't trying to destroy the world, so... No, there's one big difference between them. Right, I also heard that the battle with Kyo was much more elaborate. Like multiple clashes, multiple attacks, multiple stages to that fight, essentially. And they did something like squeezing a whole volume of the light novel into 2 episodes. Ha 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 ha. I'm with you, little penguin. I'm with you, little fella. Hmm. So, was he constantly obsessed with the idea of destroying the world, or did something change in his life that pushed him towards that? Somehow I doubt it's the latter. And what would that job be? Okay, we're back in Naofumi's world. You can jump, not fly though. Yeah. She really liked flying, didn't she? That if she stayed as that humming fairy or whatever, she wouldn't be able to pull the wagon. And she loves pulling the wagon. So, it's a choice. Do I want to pull wagon? Or do I want to fly? Too bad she's fucking dead. uh, okay, we're reminiscing. Hmm. Yeah, we're going back to when Ost was alive. Yeah, we're going. Okay, it's the scene by the campfire. Gotcha. Her lips. Jesus. Why did you render her lips this much? Not with a child present. Children. Sure. Sure you can, Raphtalia. Gonyo, gonyo, gonyo. Yeah, it means doing the gonyo, gonyo. Watch Phil understand it perfectly. Because of her animal instincts. Yeah, mating. Exactly. The exact same thing. Except Philo is an animal, so she knows those things instinctively. Raphtalia doesn't. She isn't. She's having way too much fun. Depends how you do it. If it's pure baby making love, then it's not. Okay, but she did mean it in an indecent sense. It clearly is. Where the fuck are they going? Literally, where the fuck are they? Oh, it's the tortoise. Okay. I guess they brought flowers for Rifana, they brought flowers for Ost. Just gonna throw them like that, not even put them on the tortoise or anything. Just gonna chuck them off the cliff. I guess it creates a cool effect, but and here she is. That's the second time she appeared after her death. Which makes me believe she's not entirely dead, perhaps. Perhaps a part of her still lingers, maybe within Naofumi's shield, maybe within Naofumi, maybe within the corpse of the tortoise, maybe within this world itself. Flowers offered in recollection. Okay. It seems like this episode was made with the sole purpose of adding on top of what happened in the season, expanding on some of the stories. I don't know. Feels somewhat unnecessary, to be perfectly honest with you. Each of those vignettes that we were shown here could have been easily a part of their respective episodes. And then they could have just stretched the content of those 12 episodes over 13 episodes, and the effect would be largely the same. This is a very weird episode. Kind of an expanding... expanding recap? Kinda, sorta. It is a recap episode, but it expands on the things it recaps. Those are some long credits. Philharmonic Orchestra from Prague recorded some music, apparently. Interesting. Half this episode is just the credits. It's crazy to see this many people involved in it. And the result being what it is. Oh, that's some nice music. Reminds me of Clannad. Not Clannad the anime, Clannad the band. Kinda has the vibes of like the Rino. Yeah, that's the first thing that instantly popped into my mind. Rino by Clannad. But yeah, that's it. So let's go through it again. Shall we? Shall we? Yes, we shall, is the answer. You can't exactly object. You're at my mercy. And yeah, they went first. It seems to put some flowers on Rifana's grave. I don't know. Raphtalia's parents' grave? I'm not sure. Okay, so I didn't know where to place it, like chronologically and space-wise initially. I thought that it's them on their way to Naofumi's town, and on their way they stopped by Rifana's and or Raphtalia's parents' grave, but that doesn't make sense because those graves are in Naofumi's town, right? So it seems like this takes place after the finale, after the final scenes of episode 12. So they came back to Naofumi's town, and now they set off at night to offer Ost her their flowers. I think that's where it's placed chronologically and space-wise. That's why they're trying to move softly, because Keel wanted to go with them, and they, for some reason, didn't want to take Keel with them. Gotcha. So it's just a journey to put some flowers on Ost's corpse, I guess. Some cool art. Ah man, it always hurts, kinda something deep inside me when I see people put a lot of effort into something, a lot of love, and that effort and love amounts to not much in the end. Right? Like, you can see that someone made this art because they genuinely like Shield Hero. You can see the art at the end. Someone made it because they genuinely enjoy it. This episode itself is kind of is also something that didn't need to be there. But people who create this show saw it as important to add this additional context to what we've seen. Hey, it was cut from the anime, but it's still a cool scene, so we still want to show you that. Right? You can see someone cares. But then you look back at season 2 and you remember all those wonky of model faces. You remember the CG. You remember the uninspired fights. You remember the changes it made to the source material. Some of them good. Like the fact Raphtalia was taken away by Kyo instead of just not teleporting with them. That was genuinely a great change, and you cannot change my mind about it. But overall, season 2 had very much a feeling of low quality. And it's sad because someone clearly cares about it. But someone, somewhere, I don't know who, decided that you're not gonna get enough time, despite this season being already rescheduled, late. It was supposed to air much earlier. You're not gonna get enough budget, despite season 1 making bank. You're not gonna get enough manpower, despite season 1 having enough manpower to create something genuinely great. It's always sad to see that. Where you see someone put a lot of love and effort into something, and then you see the results of what they made with all their love and all their care and all their effort, and it's kind of shit, right? because something somewhere it at some point happened. I hope that whatever it was is not going to happen with season 3. I hope. And man, it's crazy. As I mentioned, I've seen episode 13 of Arifureta, and it's a very low bar. It's a very low bar. But in Arifureta, at least the characters are on model. And a show like Arifureta got a lot more production quality to it than season 2 of Shield Hero. Or rather, maybe not like entirely in all, more production value put into it. But Arifureta is consistent, right? It's not groundbreaking visuals. It's perfectly forgettable, really. Nothing particularly amazing about it. It's not Dragon Maid. It's not, I don't know what other beautiful shows there are, but pick one and think of it. It's absolutely not that, but it's consistently decent. Shield Hero Season 2 had some ups and had some downs, and oh boy, were those downs dip below the surface. And it hurts. Because something so successful, something so beloved by many, got this kind of treatment. I will never understand that, when a studio has a successful anime and then they make a sequel and they completely drop the ball. One Punch Man, season 1 versus season 2. That's all you need to know. Shield Hero, season 1 versus season 2. And the truly successful shows do the opposite. Symphogear, season to season, you can see bigger and bigger improvements. Season 1 was already looking great and already had a lot of production quality behind it. Season 2 moved it above and beyond. Season 3 is even better. They're consistently climbing. Because season 1 was a success, we got a little bit more budget so we can make season 2 even better. And there are shows that genuinely do that. From what I've seen from the trailer of Overlord Season 4, they kind of had a dip, right? They started utilizing CGI more and the bottom of the barrel CGI, really. And Season 4, PV actually looks good. Actually has very little CG to it. And there are shows that climb in quality and shows that dip in quality as seasons go by. And the dip in quality never ends well. So why do they do that? Short-term gratification versus long-term benefits? I hate it. I genuinely hate that approach. Hate this approach. But yeah, that was a bit of a rant, but this art that someone clearly cared about really prompted me to kind of spill my guts out, spill my heart out about this issue. The art in this episode still isn't all that great, but at least it's somewhat consistent. I haven't seen anybody be off model, so that's good. And of course, Philo would miss her ability to fly. But alas, she cannot because she's a different species. And yeah, every single vignette, those vignettes seem to be tied by their journey. And I'm assuming they, in the source material, they happened when they actually happened. It's not something they reminisce about, as all of them are sitting by a campfire somewhere, right? Because I know that in the source material they stayed together for a few more days in Kizuna's world. This is something that actually happened when they went to get new clothes, but it didn't make it into the episode, so they moved it here. Or maybe it's just anime original fan service. I don't know. I have no way of knowing because I'm not familiar with the source material. And Naofumi is correct. Eastern clothes are the better choice. You're gonna blend in much easier. Raphtalia wants a kimono. And yeah, a little bit of a makeover. She really does look good in it, in this kimono. She really does. It's not meant for combat, absolutely not. It's meant for looks. This is meant for combat, and it has nipple rings. I just noticed. Those are just nipple rings. I thought for a moment that I stopped recording by accident, but no, thankfully not. And the samurai gear, but of course it's too heavy. Raphtalia isn't someone who would like to use heavy armor, although I have a feeling that a combination of a kimono with those samurai pauldrons and maybe some small chest plate would actually be great. And like a samurai style armored skirt or chaps or whatever it's called. You know, kind of like those pauldrons, but hanging on her hips and going down. You know what I mean, right? Something like that plus a kimono would actually look great and be functional and be protective. Samurai protecting her home from foreign barbarians. Traditional maid, and of course, fan service with Kizuna. Even like the smallest size is still too big for her, of course. Great for playing in rivers. Yeah, it's just fan service. And Raphtalia is not amused. Raphtalia is very much not amused. And here we arrived at her final suit, final costume, whatever you want to call it, final dress. And it is cool. Not particularly protective, but has some decent mobility to it. Looks decent. It's cute. Not as protective as her old armor, for sure, but still. And yeah, we have a complete flashback to how Naofumi was talking about stats and not about looks. And just so happens that Kizuna was talking about the same thing. Fishing with the green-haired girl, whose name I forgot, and I probably won't remember, because she's no longer gonna be relevant, I'm assuming. Unless they go back to Kizuna's world for whatever reason in Season 3. Kizuna's time in the Infinite Labyrinth. Again, I'm assuming it's something that Kizuna told Naofumi about during the regular runtime of the series, of the season. Some weak monsters, some fish. And yeah, they get less and less appetizing with each catch, and of course everything is surrounded by a barrier. I love the reference to Cast Away with the Wilson. How did she make it? I don't know. Are those like fish skins? Is it paper? Is it an actual volleyball? I don't know. Is it actually something that happened in the source material? I don't know. Like, Kizuna is from Japan, so it stands to reason that she might be familiar with the Castaway movie, and she figured she's gonna make her own Wilson. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Of course, she made an attempt on her life because she had no hope of ever escaping, but no, she gave up on that idea. And good, because eventually she was rescued. Do I really need salt? Yes, you do. Salt really improves food. As I said, that's why people have been excavating and boiling out salt for millennia. and it's the universal condiment. Like, let's think about it, right? All different cultures have all different spices, right? In the British Isles, you have Worcester sauce or Worcester sauce or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. In Japan, you have soy sauce, you have mirin, you have all those different condiments. In I don't know other places that have like specific condiments to them. But yeah, every culture, every place has their own specific condiments, special herbs that grow only there, or some paste of fermented fish, or something like that. The Roman said garum, which is essentially a grandfather of Worcester sauce. Salt is universal. Wherever you go, people use salt. Literally wherever. At least as far as I'm aware. Perhaps probably there are some cultures on like isolated islands on the Pacific Ocean or something that don't have access to salt or never thought of gathering salt from seawater. Maybe. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not an anthropologist. But salt is universal for a reason. It enhances the flavor of whatever it touches. It's like a weaker sister of MSG, essentially. Yeah, adding salt does make a difference. Some porridge, or is it just salt she boils out? Probably just salt, yeah. And here comes Naofumi, and life returns to her eyes. And she survived thanks to Wilson. Why did she not take the penguin? I don't know, and the penguin doesn't know either, and it seems to hold a grudge against Kizuna precisely because she didn't take it. Interesting. And Kyo was the partner to her. Apparently, they were together ever since they were little. Yeah, childhood friends and whatnot. Remember the fun things. As Kyo lost his glasses, but they were on his face. Haha. If that's the best moment she remembers about Kyo, there weren't many good moments in the relationship, were they? They weren't many. I mean, yeah, Kyo is very much just a self-absorbed asshole, and he was probably using her ever since the beginning, so it stands to reason that they don't have memories of, I don't know, Kyo taking her for a walk, or them going camping, or, some fun stuff that a couple of friends might decide to do. It's just, this is the best memory she has of him. But now, she's free. She can make new memories with Kizuna and friends. Who knows? Maybe she might be able to find a vassal weapon for her own. There might be plenty of them, simply undiscovered, because there was nobody worthy of wielding them. That's my assumption, at least, that there might be vassal weapons that are genuinely just hidden in some tomb, or in some shrine, or just buried, or, in the middle of a volcano because someone decided, no, I don't want this responsibility, and chucked their weapon into a volcano, or whatever, right? That's an interesting topic of vassal weapons in general. At least now she can remember his face in their good moments. We've got one more job to do. What would that job be? That's interesting. That's very interesting to me. You can't just drop it like that. Yeah, Philo can fly. Only if Ost-san was here. Yeah, if only. And again, I'm assuming this conversation happened actually during this moment in the source material, but was cut as a fluff. I guess I can see why it was cut, why those moments of fluff were cut. They weren't essential, and they had only so much time in an episode, and I guess they wanted to time the episode to those 24 minutes, 22 really, discounting the opening and the ending. Perhaps even less, like 21 or 20, whatever. So they simply cut out the moments that weren't necessary, and they moved all of them to the finale. I guess I can see the reasoning behind it. Yeah, because if they added this scene to that episode would have to end earlier at some different spot, and perhaps it wouldn't serve as a particularly good ending for that episode. Okay, yeah. Yeah. But that also makes me kind of wish that some studios were brave enough to maybe not completely reject the format, but play around with it a little. We have plenty of short form shows that are like 6 minutes long, 12 minutes long, 10 minutes long, or what have you, but we don't have many that go above 24 minutes. There's Hellsing Ultimate with 40-minute long episodes, but that's about it, as far as I can remember. This show, Shield Hero, would really benefit from having at least like half an hour long episodes. Not much, it's only like 6 minutes more, but it would at least ensure that they can fit those moments into the particular episodes. I really wish that, that studio started experimenting with it. If they need 30 minutes per episodes, go ahead, make 30-minute long episodes. If you need a season to have 15 episodes, make it 15. If all it needs is 10 episodes, make it 10. Don't try to go in the increments of 12 or 24. Right? Because you either have to cut something down to fit into 12 or 13 episodes, or you have to add some additional padding to pad to full 24. I know that it has to do with time slots on the TV, right? The time slot for each episode is 24 minutes, because then there is, I'm assuming, like 6 minutes of commercials, and then another thing 24 minutes long begins, or something like that. I know that the amount also has to do with filling the seasons. That's why all anime of a particular season start roughly in the same week and end roughly in the same week. If you had a show that's 17 episodes long, that would leave the TV station with 5 weeks of just not having anything in that slot. So makes sense from a purely like pragmatic standpoint, but isn't great when it comes to the freedom of storytelling. Western media, Western publishers and whatnot are trying to do many things with anime, and I think the one genuinely good improvement would be not limiting them by the episode runtime and episode count. Runtime however long you need, episodes however many you want. Simple as that. And that change would actually be beneficial, as opposed to dropping a whole season in bulk, or dropping half a season in bulk, then 4 months later dropping another half of the season in bulk. Those are absolute garbage choices, garbage decisions that only hurt the show, and shaking up the runtime and episode count would actually be beneficial. And with streaming being such a popular medium, it's actually also feasible to do. But I don't know. I don't know the publishing industry, enough to be able to fully speak about it. Her lips are really, really rendered. Really overly rendered. And yeah, a little bit of a talk about... yeah. You do what with his what? And what do I do with it? Yeah, Raphtalia really is a kid. She really doesn't get it. She never got the bees and the flowers talk. Philo gets it because she's an animal. Really, she just has the human form because she's a Philolial queen or princess. And other than that, she just instinctually knows what mating is and what's the purpose, procreation and whatnot. She knows it in intimate details. But yeah, Raphtalia doesn't. Little bit of a second-hand embarrassment moment. And of course, Ost meant it in an indecent sense. I really like Ost. I really hope that in some capacity she returns. Eventually. They're talking about you and I, Master, are going to mate. No, you aren't. And here's Ost. The nature has already reclaimed the corpse of the tortoise. All the bodies, all the bloodstains are already covered in greenery. Wasn't the tortoise killed in like a ravine? Though, and not in the middle of a plain? I don't remember, but doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter, it's just artistic vision. It's supposed to look good, not essentially make sense continuity-wise. Throwing some flowers, saying a prayer. That's a nice little scene. It's a pretty little bit of the petals and the leaves floating towards Ost. Even Rafu is praying. Let's go. And here, for just a moment, an apparition. An apparition of Ost. I still think that a part of her might be residing in Naofumi's shield. She gave him the power, the tortoise shield and whatnot. If Naofumi's shield eating the core of the dragon gave him the dragon that resides within him, that tries to talk to him and whatnot, it makes sense that Ost might also live within Naofumi's shield and within Naofumi, right? When he was fighting Kyo and was fighting the dragon in his mind, Ost appeared as well. So, and they weren't anywhere near the corpse, so you can't explain it by a lingering attachment to the body of the tortoise. It's just Ost is within Naofumi. Those are some long-ass credits. And another really pretty piece of art. Young Raphtalia with her little bowl. Naofumi. Illustration by Suwa Masahiro. Is Suwa Masahiro, by any chance, the artist behind the manga or the light novel? Suwa Masahiro. Masahiro Suwa. No, he's a character designer of Tate no Yusha and a chief animation director. Also chief animation director on Hitsugi no Chaika and Hitsugi no Chaika Avenging Battle. Interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. Good to know. And there are still some checks running on my Arifreta video. Hopefully it doesn't get a copy strike or anything like that. Yeah, it's a really pretty art. And again, you can see that someone really knows this series, really likes it, really enjoys it, and wants the best for it. But they were shafted by someone, by some suit above, saying, no, you can't have the budget, or I don't know. I really am not privy to what happens behind closed doors. I can only make conjectures, conjectures, however you pronounce it. Man, it's such a pity. Such a pity that so many people put all their heart into it, and this is the outcome. Like, it's not a series that was just ordered or purchased, right? The way, I don't know, those Frontline anime was. It wasn't made by a group of people passionate about those Frontline. No, the publisher of the game just paid some studio and told them, hey, yo, make an anime based on our game, and that's it. Plenty of anime around that are just advertisement for manga or light novels or games or whatever, and they are again just bought, just purchased. It's a transaction. There is a studio that makes whatever anime someone orders, and someone orders an anime, so they make it. With not much passion, not much love behind it, just by the numbers. As long as the product fits the description, ship it. This, you can see, like, this thank you card. It tells me so much about the people responsible for this show. There wasn't anything like that in season 1. It's a thank you for enjoying season 1. Thank you for enjoying the story so far. Thank you for giving us the chance to make season 2. Thank you for all that to the viewers, for your interest in this series that allowed us to greenlight like two more seasons. Wow, amazing. We thought it's just gonna be a single season, but you loved it so much. Thank you. That's the message. And they have to live with the knowledge that they kinda disappointed the fans. Yeah, that's harsh. That's harsh. Season 1 had some changes to the source material, sure. It had some weaker moments, sure. But there was nothing as egregious as Season 2. And I can only think of what people who made it are feeling. Right? They even delayed this season because someone saw that, hey, it's not, the quality isn't good enough. We need to do better. Or they were trying to keep up the quality and there was simply not enough time. And someone made the decision to delay it. And even with all the delays, all the work put into it, what happened? It's a genuine question. If anybody has any, like, insider insight, if Japanese newspapers are writing about it or something, anything, if anybody has any insight, I would be very much interested to know. What happened? A sequel to a beloved, successful show even got delayed, and this was the result. A love child of so many people just to end up with off-model faces and two big changes to the source material. I don't know what to think, really. The episode in itself, the episode 13, it was good. Sure. It wasn't anything particularly groundbreaking. It really just brought us some snippets that were cut out of the original, of the like base season, and that's essentially it. It didn't bring any huge amount of new information. It didn't bring anything particularly important, so to speak. It was just something they wanted to make to fully show people what it was supposed to be, right? Things that they wanted to put there but didn't manage, and then you have this. The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 ends here, however Naofumi and his allies are still on their long and arduous journey. Hope for Season 3. Hope for Season 3 and hope that it's better. And I really can't get over this thank you card. Yeah, I really don't know what more to say about this episode. I'm glad it exists because it gave us some additional insights, some snippets that were cut out. But at the same time, I feel like it didn't need to exist. Very ambivalent feelings about it. Very ambivalent. Is there anything here that was particularly important? I guess Kizuna's stay in the Infinite Labyrinth gave us a little bit more insight into her, how she was trying to take her own life to get out of her desperation, and that really shows, that really amplifies the amount of happiness she must have felt when she was rescued by Naofumi. It really shows how much it really, again, increases our understanding of just how much she has to respect Naofumi and like him, because he's her savior. That's like the biggest thing that happened. The rest, fairly inconsequential. A nice send-off for Ost, I guess, and a very nice final scene with the tortoise in the plains. Yeah, I'm looking at this final card and I'm just getting emotional. Sorry, I'm just, I really hate it when I said it time and again, I'm sorry for going in circles. But I really hate it, and it really makes me sad and mad when there's so much love, so much care put into something, and it results in a subpar product. I have to hope that maybe the Blu-ray release will have some of those issues fixed. Or maybe Season 3, they will take whatever whatever criticism there is to heart, and they will make Season 3 better. Or rather, I fully expect the people working on this show, the actual animators and artists and voice actors and everybody, they know the things that went wrong with this anime. They know that some faces are off model. They know that some fights are very weak and plain. They know because they made it. And they made it this way despite their better judgment, because someone didn't give them enough time or enough staff or enough money. It has to get through to the suits at the top that this is not the way, that you cannot just ride on the coattails of a name, of a title. You have to actually put effort. And I hope it happens. I hope in Season 3 we see a complete 180 on Season 2. They will put much more effort, much more resources into it, because people responsible for it are putting effort. I have absolutely no doubt. But they simply don't have the time, don't have the money, don't have the people. So if any suit at the top is listening to my rant, somehow happens to, give them what they need. Give them all the time they need. Give them all the money, all the people they need. Allow them to go past 24 minutes per episode. Allow them to go past 12 episodes per season. And you will get something amazing. You will get something truly, truly spectacular. Something better than Season 1. That's what you should be striving for. To make Season 2 better than Season 1. And to make Season 3 better than Season 2. And if you do that, further and further and further and further seasons will have no trouble being greenlit, and they will be beloved by everybody. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna end it here. There's nothing more to say really. We just have to hope. I'm thankful for this episode. I love this end card. It's really making me choke up a little, but I can't deny that season 2 wasn't the greatest. You thank me for watching it, I thank you for making it, but I know that you couldn't go all out, you couldn't make this show how you wanted it to. Okay, yeah, that's just gonna be it. So you guys, you tell me down in the comments, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of this the state of anime industry, of making sequels worse than original seasons. I doubt anybody loves it, but tell me your opinion about it. If you don't want to say it in the comments, do it on the Discord. Link here, link in the description. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. No longer of Shield Hero, because it has ended, it has concluded, but of Overlord Season 4 that I will be watching, of Hatarakuma Osama Season 2 that I will be watching. Hopefully both of those will improve on previous seasons. I hope against all hope. Yofukashi no Uta, which is an original, not anime original, but a brand new thing, brand new franchise based on a manga by the author of Dagashikashi, and the art style is amazing, so I have to watch it. Symphogear GX is airing constantly on Saturdays, and after GX is done, the next one will start airing. We still have to watch Review Starlight, the recap movie, and the sequel movie, so that's something you might be looking forward to. And also Ruby, the anime by Shaft, which is all sorts of fucky wacky because they released first three episodes merged into 1 hour-long behemoth, and episode 4 starts airing at the end of the next month, and it's a lot of tomfackery, and I am yet to decide what am I gonna do about it. And of course, to be notified about what is replacing Review Starlight, because some non-seasonal show will be replacing it. Will it be Madoka Magica? Will it be what else is there? Will it be Madoka Magica? Will it be Yukayuna no Yusha? Yukayuna is a hero. Will it be yeah, Yukiyuna is a hero. Will it be what else is there? Will it be something else entirely? I don't know. Stay subscribed, click the bell and all that to know when I release new things. If you want to support my channel, you can do that in multiple ways. Monetarily on Patreon or Throne. On Patreon, if you support me for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear and whatever else is replacing a review. And for just $1, you get a special role on my Discord server, and you also get a place in the credits. Throne is brand new. Essentially, you can pitch into some gear that I would want, like a new webcam or a webcam because I'm still using my phone, some additional stuff. It's essentially crowdfunded gifts. You might want to pitch in, you might not want to, it's up to you. And if you just don't want to spend any money at all, you can do that as well by just sharing my content, spreading the word, because the more you guys share my videos and my content and my channel, the more the channel grows. Word of mouth really matters a lot. Join the Discord, it's open, free to everybody, so come hang out with us, see the cat pictures that we post there, and things like that. And yeah, with that, that's gonna be it from me for today. So, as always, you guys all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits I mentioned, and you can help expand this list if you want.